Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Welcome to the worst writer in the world with me, Rufus, and he's warm on the outside but cold on the inside, and I keep my cheese in him.
What?
It's...
Howard Long.
Thank you to the British Comedy Guide for hosting this show. Thank you to all of our lovely patrons on Patreon for supporting this show, and, thanks to you for listening to this show. And after you listen to it, going over to patreon.com/manbycow and checking out what other things you could get that are actually kind of often slightly better than this show. For example, the Secret Gang podcast, which comes out approximately once a month, or many, many Gret Binchleaf books, which really are better than this show, actually.
Yeah.
All right, so shall we get started, Howard?
Yes, please.
So, Howard, last week we read My Life Story by young Howard.
Yeah.
Right?
Life
which you
Story.
wrote when you were 11 or 12 about your life so far.
Correct.
And I pointed out that quite a lot of time has passed since then. And presumably you've done quite a few things in that time. Mm-hmm. And therefore, you should continue writing your life story, picking up where that one left off.
That's true.
And I believe you have done it, or at least you've done the next bit.
Well, you think that until you see what it says immediately on opening the file. You'll discover that I realised there was quite a lot of missing things.
Okay, so the first heading is 5 to 10 again. So
yeah.
the first period of your life is when you were between the ages of 5 and 10. Because good point. That was very short.
Yeah.
For a life of about 12 years that did not have a lot of information in it, and it was mostly about crying. Right. There must have been some times when you were happy and not annoyed with someone for, I don't know, being female or whatever,
That's
whatever
right.
was
Well,
irritating you.
I guess we're going to find out whether that's true.
All right. In class, we met. I've just seen what this is. I just saw 2 words and then a third one, and now I know exactly what this story is.
Wow.
In class, we made pop-up pictures for Halloween.
That's right.
All right, and these next 2 words are 2 of the words that gave me the clue. Faith Bayliss made one with a cupboard door.
Yeah.
And when you opened it, there was a ghost and the word Ghost. And I know I've got to pronounce it Ghost because
Ghost.
you've told me this many
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
But it's Ghost. And the word Ghost with 5 exclamation marks. We all laughed at Faith for foolishly misspelling a word that has no good reason to have an H in it, but does.
Yeah, but it does, and that's the important thing. Got to obey the law, Faith, otherwise you're going to get laughed at.
Faith cried like a stupid baby. What a loser. Stupid eye-crying wiener.
Yeah, so it says. That's a bit
Yeah,
much,
it does.
probably, but I mean...
It is also not a word that we ever used in this country. What a wiener. That just shows how much TV you've watched since then.
No. Actually, no. I invented that term, and America
Oh, really?
America picked up on it. I said, Faith Bayliss, you're such a wiener. I said, oh, you big wiener. I said, I'm in northern accent.
You big. What did you think that meant? Because we don't have sausages called wieners here like that.
Yeah, I
That's
thought
not
it
a
meant
thing,
like
right?
when you wee, and everyone goes no, and that's what a wiener is.
Or it's someone who's really interested in knowing a lot about wee. Or
Yeah.
to put it another way, a wee nerd.
Yes, yeah.
Ah, you wee nerd.
Yeah.
Stop researching and learning about wee. It's weird. Be a regular nerd. Do maths.
Or I thought it was something that like Phoebe Cates says in Gremlins.
Do you want to explain that joke? 'Cause I
No,
don't-
I don't want to explain it because it doesn't make any sense. It's the bit about when she kind of like says something about a wet nurse, but it could have been a
Oh,
wiener.
wet nurse.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
But she actually says wiener.
Yeah, if you say you hate Washington's birthday,
Yeah.
then everyone's fine. Like everyone's okay with that. But say you don't like Christmas, everyone thinks you're a wee nerd.
Exactly.
That is correct.
And that's how I invented the word wiener.
So anyway, Faith cried like a stupid baby. What a loser, stupid eye-crying wiener. I hope I don't get forced to go to her birthday. Ugh. But I bet if I do, I'll be But I bet if I do,
Yeah.
I'll be a big brave boy. And not cry like her for no reason. Canon.
Then it's true. Okay.
Yeah, nailed it. Yeah, now that's
so good.
true.
Yeah.
That's true history canon now because you said it.
That's it. It's retconned anything you've heard before, so I didn't cry at that party because I was big and brave.
Yeah. No, it says here canon, so that's true now. Is ret canon a word? That must be a
Yeah,
word,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. It is
That
now.
must be a word.
Yeah. We just made it. We can put it in the Urban Dictionary. We can put it on T-shirts and.
No, I mean, that's what. But I think it seems like such an obvious word that I feel like that's probably been invented and used loads, and everyone else knows it. And just because I don't, we probably shouldn't sit here going, "Ooh, I invented a word," when everyone else is listening, going, "Idiots."
Yeah, but that's
can't believe they think they
that's
invented
how
the
the
word
world works,
retcanon.
though. I mean, and that's certainly how the world worked before the internet, which came along and ruined everything. Because it's like if you were in Coville and you went like, "I've just come up with the word retcanon," everyone would be like, "Well done." Well, three of us would.
Just come up with this great word, spaceship. It's
everyone would
fucking-
believe it.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I invented that word, spaceship. Yeah, because like it's like a ship in
Yeah.
the sea, right? But it goes in space.
Goes in
It's called a
space.
spaceship.
Spaceship.
Nailed it. And everyone's like, God, I wish we had the internet so we could check.
Yeah. Then you move to London, and everything, and all your dreams are ruined.
By the internet, which we have in London. Coville, of course, still doesn't. So we go back to Coville, we're like, we invented space. And they're like, oh, really? Did you? That's interesting. They say. Okay, so I see the next paragraph has a very exciting opening, which says, Rufus
Hooray!
got mentioned in the live story for
Yeah.
the second time, right? I feel like I got mentioned once in the last one. Is that true? But very briefly.
And once in my diary.
But no, here I am again.
there you are.
Rufus was over playing with me in the garden, not like that, when he got a tiny nothing of a splinter in his thumb and he cried and ran home.
I did. Do you remember that?
No, not
Do you not remember that? Yeah, it's real. I remember it very well.
Tell me about it, no.
I mean, it's all there for you to see. I remember it because of the next line, I think.
I didn't understand why such a tiny prick would cause such tears. I never cry about my tiny prick, and anyone who says otherwise is a Bojo Lypants.
Brilliant.
That line, that's why you remember it.
No,
because of
no,
that
no.
joke.
So I forgot about that brilliant joke about me having a tiny penis.
Because I've been saving that joke up for 25 years, just waiting for this moment when I could finally use it in public.
I mean, I remember going like, "Oh, it's not, you know, it's not a big deal and everything." But you were insistent that it was, and you really needed to go, and you did. You did kind of like I let you out, and you did run off, like, quite speedily.
Let me out of the cage you used to keep me in.
Yeah, where I poked you with splinters.
yeah, the giant
Yeah.
vampire stake splinters.
I stuck a big stick in Rufus, and he cried for some reason. Said he wanted to go home.
idiot.
I don't know.
And to hospital. Yeah, no, if I ran home, that must be when I lived around the corner from you.
Yes.
So this must be when we were younger,
were very
like 7
young.
or
Yeah,
younger.
yeah, we were really young.
because I moved when we were 7 when I moved. And if I'd have run home from like then, that's like 4 miles with a splinter going.
Yeah, yeah, you ran around the corner with your splinter
Yeah,
crying. You big splinter corner running wiener.
But right, like I got a splinter the other day, right?
Yeah.
And like I mean, I was already at home, so I didn't run home.
Yeah,
I did
no,
cry a bit. I did cry a bit, but not much. I mean, only like an hour, only an hour. And then I stopped, and I was really like grown up and tough about it.
That's because
that
you
was-
are-
I'm not going to talk about it anymore though, because I can feel the tears coming back, like just the trauma revisiting me. So I'm going to stop talking about it now.
That's because you're a vampire, and like even a splinter is like a steak, isn't it? So it's like you're getting staked.
I was worried I might explode into dust like on
wonder
Buffy.
if that's
You
what
don't know.
happens to vampires if they
What-
get splintered.
yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, there must be like a point when the splinter becomes big enough.
Yeah.
Right, and you don't want to risk it because
How
you don't know.
far
You see,
Into a vampire, does your bit of wood need to go before it turns
and
into
how big
dust?
does the bit of wood need to be? Yeah, because like if you'll see people getting staked by big stakes. Usually, you'll see some vampires get a splinter and not explode. But you're like, I don't know where between those two things where the line is. It could be anywhere.
Yeah.
So you'd be very careful.
Yeah. I suppose they usually aim for the heart, though, don't they? Getting a splinter in your thumb's not going to kill a vampire. Maybe it's going to kill its thumb. Its thumb turns to dust.
No more thumb, and you've got to live forever with no thumb. It'd be really annoying. How are you going to get jars open?
You ask your dad, don't you? Usually. That's-
You cry and ask your dad. Right? That's how you do it. I can't open a jar of pickles, Dad.
So back to the story about how Sissy Rufus Milksop got a big cry because of a tiny piece of wood, right?
yeah. Back to that thing you just said. Then.
Not a big brave boy like me, because I wouldn't.
Anyway, my mum says. My mum says the reason Rufus cried at the minute splinter is because he is a wussy crybaby. Did she really?
Something like that.
that-
Yeah.
Your mum.
Yeah.
I'd say next time your mum's upset about anything at all, right, from any level, whether it's something really small, like she's just upset about, just to the point of someone being dead, I would like you to say, Rufus, right? Rufus says the reason you're crying right now is because you're a wussy crybaby, and then walk away like sassily. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, there's any chance of her remembering this?
No.
That's the thing. Like things like this are fascinating, right? Because like when you're a kid, like the most unexpected, or sometimes like this, quite expected things can really stick in your memory forever. But that's not true for adults. Or like something like this. An adult who says to a kid, "Oh, he's just being a crybaby."
Crybaby, yeah.
There's no way they're going to remember that.
No.
But as a kid, that can actually shape your worldview.
Yes.
That can really, really affect you. And that's such a big responsibility. I don't know how parents deal with it. You've got to watch every word, and not just watch every word, because it's not always the obvious things, is it? You might say something perfectly innocent, and your kid just takes it slightly the wrong way, and now they're a Nazi. Like, what are you supposed to do? Now they're going off with Grindelwald and becoming a wizard Hitler.
Yes. And it was like you mentioned sometime, I don't know whether it was in anything, but you mentioned how you thought that your dad had a range of stationery named after him.
Note, baby.
Yeah. But they say
I still do.
But yeah,
There's still a part of me that believes that.
but you can't prevent these things, and so like you hear that he cried when Splinter, he's a crybaby. You go like, oh, being a crybaby is bad. I should be strong. I should be a strong.
I should never cry.
I should never-
Oh dear. Oh dear.
And that's why I've never
Next
cried.
5 years.
This is why I've never cried about anything, because I'm not a crybaby like you are.
No, but this is the thing. You clearly, as a child, you were aware of how much crying you did because you wrote about it in your life story. That was one of your main themes in your life story. But you were also aware that your mum said that crying is bad.
Yeah.
That she said that about me. So you must have also had this in your mind. What I'm doing, my mum says is bad.
Yeah. Well,
Do you know what I mean?
All,
and that's not a
all
good thing
parents
to have
tell
in
you
your
to
head.
stop crying, though, don't they? Stop crying. They say. They don't say carry on crying. They say shut up,
what,
you
Howard?
shut the fuck up, stop crying for Christ's sake.
I don't think you've done enough crying today. Do you want to get an extra 10 minutes in before you go to bed?
Okay, I'll just stick Doctor Who the movie on quickly.
All right, so my mum says the reason Rufus cried at the minute splinter is because he is a wussy crybaby.
Crybaby, yeah.
I think she must have a point. She is nice and never says mean things, so it must be true.
Yeah. There you go.
Our like if this is if this becomes a public worst writer show, many of the listeners may not know the wonderful story of how one day randomly your mum found was it a
two-year-old live stream?
But was it on the Facebook post that she commented, right? It wasn't on the video, right? So she'd scrolled back to find a 2-year-old Facebook post of a live stream that we'd done years ago for our listeners and written "this is shit" on it.
Yeah.
Out of
It's so funny.
It's so odd. It is. It's both simultaneous, but it's funny because it's so awful. It's so. If I wrote that for Gret Binchleaf doing that, I'd think twice. Maybe that's a bit mean for Gret Binchleaf. Maybe that's pushing his character too far. I mean, that's his kid.
I don't know. The thing is, I kind of agreed with her, so it was fine.
All right. So, I think she must have a point. She is nice and never says mean things, so it must be true. Also, I mean, Rufus willingly sticks a needle in himself 50 times a day.
Yeah.
So what's his problem all of a sudden? Idiot.
Yeah, also, you might not know that about Rufus. He is a massive heroin addict.
I love heroin, okay? 50 times a day.
all the different kinds. He loves Red Leicester, heroin, cheddar heroin.
Yeah.
All of them.
Now, here's the thing, right? If this is when I was living around the corner from you,
Yeah.
this is probably before I was diagnosed.
So this is how you caught diabetes then.
This is maybe how I caught it, off that splinter. No wonder I was upset. So yeah, the likelihood is that I wasn't at this point used to being stabbed by things, and was a big wussy crybaby about it. And then, the universe or God or whatever turned up and went, right, time to sort you out, you idiot.
We'll teach
you
you.
Wussy cry idiot.
We'll teach you.
Here, look, and I tell you what, right? Like now I inject myself quite a lot. I have to inject myself 6-7 times a day. But here's the great thing.
Yeah.
Now the needles are really short and really thin and barely hurt. It's fucking brilliant. It's no problem. When I was diagnosed, the needles were about an inch long and thick.
Oh
They were absolutely terrifying. And I was 7, right?
Yeah.
So but a doctor comes around to my house. I've been sick for a week or two. And the doctor goes, all right, you're diabetic. And I'm like, what does that mean? And he says, okay, well, you're going to have to inject yourself, at this point, only twice a day with insulin. Right? And I'm like, okay, how long for? And he goes, well, for the rest of your life. No, doc, be serious now. This is a big deal. I'm only 7. Come on. Don't mess around. For the rest of my life. What does that even mean, you know?
We have no intention of curing this, so you're going to have to do it every day. No plans.
But they obviously knew it was kind of terrifying for a kid to inject. So they created this thing, okay? This thing that would hide the needle from you. And basically, it was this big, long metal thing with a kind of metal tube that covered the needle that you then kind of and it would, it didn't come out, and it would go in. And so you wouldn't see the needle going in, right? Yeah. This thing was huge and metal and the most terrifying thing you have ever seen in your life.
Yeah, because you know it's got a massive needle
in
it as
hurt.
well.
Yeah, you saw the massive needle because you had to put it together beforehand. So it's not like you never saw the needle. It was the worst idea anyone's ever had. Like obviously injecting yourself.
Hey,
when you're 7
everybody!
is
Look, we know you're scared of sharks. So what we've done is we've got this box and we've written shark box on the side. So...
Yeah, and we've put a metal shark inside. That is definitely going to kill you. All right. Yeah.
Get in the box.
Yeah, it was so much scarier than just a little plastic syringe because it was a huge metal thing. It was horrible. I still have I can feel and I can smell that metal. Right? I can taste it. Yeah. That just the whole emotional experience of this huge metal thing that took about 5 minutes to construct as well. So it's build up the tension for fuck's sake. Just give me a syringe. I'll get used to it. This I'm never getting used to this.
No, I bet you thought you were going to get turned into a robot like in Superman 3.
Lee Brumby
Brilliant.
Brought a Marvel annual to school
Wow.
and claimed it was a joke book.
Yeah.
When asked to prove it was a joke book by telling us a joke from it, he told the following joke.
Yeah.
What did Spider-Man say to the Hulk?
I don't know.
you're a piece of milk. This is one of very few jokes I've heard in my life that I can still laugh at after countless tellings. So I hope Lee went on to have a successful career in stand-up, though it's possible he may have peaked early because his follow-up, What Did Batman Say to the Hulk? You're a Piece of Cream, was not only sadly very derivative, but also showed a severe lack of understanding of intellectual property. Though you could argue this was the crossover DC deserved, but not the one Marvel needed.
You little joke for you there.
Joax. You're a piece of milk. What exactly is a piece of milk, Lee? And is the Hulk actually a piece of milk, or is Spider-Man saying this metaphorically? The answers to these questions and so many more are sadly locked in the mind of someone who, without a shadow of a doubt, has zero recollection of ever telling this joke. Absolutely.
No.
Because only a massive loser would remember this and still insist on telling it every couple of months. Every couple of months is a lot more regular than that.
I mean, Lee Brumby might say, I didn't tell that joke, Paul Kenny did. I've no idea because at this point, those two people have merged into one and I don't know who they are anymore.
I feel like years ago you used to tell that story with Paul Kenny in the main part. I feel like it started out as Paul Kenny when you used to tell me that, and now it's like in recent years it's changed to Lee Brumby.
I mean, maybe. Who's Lee Brumby anyway? Who is he?
I don't know, it sounds like a made-up name.
It does, doesn't it? Okay, so we're on a quest to the people of Coville. Can we locate Lee Brumby and Paul Kenny and see which one of them originated the "you're a piece of milk" joke? And I'll send them a badge.
They'll be so happy.
Winner.
They probably don't remember you.
Yeah.
Like, let alone the joke.
Yeah.
They remember. Do you remember Howard Long? They'll be like, no, I don't remember Howard Long. I don't think I've ever met anyone. That sounds like a made up name.
Yeah.
Well, so does Lee Brumby, actually.
Yeah.
All right. So the next paragraph gets very honest.
Oh, yeah.
So we're getting into some real serious, deep, honest stuff now. So brace yourself, everybody. Okay. When I was young, my name was Mark. I tell you this just for this rhyming story. My brother decided to wind me up by constantly saying, Mark is a spark and a shark and he lives down park.
Okay, shall I do that for you? It goes like this. It goes, Mark is a spark and a shark and he lives down park. You see how annoying that is, right?
Yeah, that is annoying. This was really annoying. Not just to me, but to my mother, who murdered him. No, I added that bit.
But if everyone's wondering where my brother did disappear,
I mean, I have not seen... You talk about him sometimes, but I have not seen him since we were kids.
we have to keep up the illusion.
I mean, to be honest, the stories you tell me about your brother
he's
could
alive.
be entirely made up. And they would be the kind of stories that someone would tell, like the kind of excuses someone would say, like why he's never around, why you never see him, you know, oh, he's off doing this, he's in the Navy, you know, it's all like, it's very unconvincing.
Yeah. He's been tasered and is in jail. Yeah, he'd be like, nobody tasers people in the UK, Howard, you lying.
Yeah, it'd be like, you know, he's in the Navy, okay, that deals with a couple of years. And like, oh, now he's working in Nottingham. You're like, okay, yeah, fair enough. You know, he's in another county. Yeah, I'll probably get 6 months out of that one. But eventually people start to go, you know, we haven't seen your brother in 8 years. Where is he now? You're like, oh, better make things a bit more serious. Come on, he's in Nottingham. We'll go and see him. That's not far. Well, he was in Nottingham, but then he got tased and now he's in prison and they're not allowing, like he's in solitary or something, so that you can't go and visit him. One night I was home alone with my brother, and my brother was being mean to me. So I decided to use my wits to outsmart him. So I beat him around the head and back with a snooker cue. He probably cried like a drippy pants milksop. But, to be honest, I didn't stick around to find out because I ran away to my grandma's crying. Because I ran away to my grandma's crying like a brave hero. Paul Kenny loved inventing games. He had very little success with Shark Train, inasmuch as he had to play it on his own, which was difficult because it was a variant of tag. The rules were simple. If you're it, then you're a shark and a train. So Such an odd idea. So, like, some kids are just odd, right? It's
Yeah.
like they like. Sometimes, like, I think, like when if you remember back to school, you can probably pick out some kid who was just weird, and it was because of things like this. Like, you just like, where does that idea come from? It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. But as a kid, everyone's like, let's play tag, brilliant, way! And most kids are quite boring. Just do the same things over and over again, watch the same film every day. And then the kid turns up and goes like, yeah, but what if it's tag, but you're a shark? And you're like, okay, good idea. No, there's more. There's more. You're a shark and a train. Oh, you're the weird kid. Okay, brilliant. We needed you. We were already bored. So the rules were simple. If you're it, then you're a shark and a train. So you have to pretend to have a fin. And when chasing other players, you can only go in a straight line and turn at 90-degree angles.
Yeah, just like trains and sharks.
Yeah. I mean, a shark probably can do a fairly... But trains don't turn at 90-degree angles.
No.
That's not how tracks work.
No.
This, I think, displayed a basic lack of understanding of both sharks and trains on Paul's part. I don't know if this is why nobody would play it with him, or if it was because he was weird.
Do I say that?
It does say that, yeah. That's what you wrote.
Brilliant.
But fear not, for Paul would later find success with his wholly original game, Jumpin' Poo. The rules of Jumpin' Poo were very simple. They'd have to, wouldn't they? I mean, the names of these games do tell. Like Shark Train, you need explaining to you. No one goes, "Let's play Shark Train," and they just start. You need someone to tell you what Shark Train is.
Yeah.
But Jumpin' Poo seems a lot easier.
That's
to
why.
get your head
That's why it's a
around.
winner, because like you don't need the instructions. It's like you just go the title. Okay, we know what to do now. Go.
The rules of Jumpin' Poo were very simple. A dog had taken a shit right outside the entrance to the school, and the players would take turns jumping in the shit. Congratulations, Paul. You're a winner. Yeah, that is quite a game. I mean, the amazing part of that, like the true talent there, is that he persuaded anyone at all to do it. But they wouldn't do Shark Train, which was just tag. But Jumpin' Poo, oh yeah, this is what we've been waiting for all our horrible child lives.
It's probably clearer winner when it comes to Jumpin' Poo. If you're the person that's most jumped in the poo, I've no idea. I don't know.
You're the person who's standing in the poo.
Yeah.
Because surely, unless there's a lot of poo.
And your prize is to stink of shit all day.
15 to 20. Am dating a girl. Let's call her Sarah. My girlfriend Sarah is so annoying. For some reason, she thinks I like her. Yeah, what an idiot.
Nobody likes who they're dating at school, though, right?
I mean, I don't think I'm the right person to ask about relationships.
Yeah, no, but you remember at school everyone just had to date people, but nobody was really that into it.
No, I mean, as I say, I've no idea. Maybe other people liked it. We're the two worst people to give advice about relationships, or maybe the best,
Yeah.
because we'll tell people not to bother, and that is the best thing you can possibly do. Give it a miss. It's just going to make you unhappy.
Get yourself a cat.
Come on, everybody, be honest. Your relationship, is it actually making you happy, or are you just scared of not having it? Go on, tell me the truth. Is it actually creating happiness in your life, or is it a habit that you don't dare give up because you're scared of what life will be like without it?
I should take an opposite view, shouldn't I, really?
It's difficult, though. It's difficult when I'm so right, though.
I think that it's families are really good. I really like the idea of having a baby that keeps me awake all the time, so I never get any sleep. Because sleep is for losers, isn't it? I'll sleep when I'm dead.
No, it is. No, I see. I mean, some people do seem to be quite happy with their families. I think it's unusual, but there are a few people who it seems to be right
few.
for. No, seriously, I don't think it's many. Of all the people who get married or start relationships and have children, I think most of them are unhappy. Yeah, so my girlfriend is so annoying. For some reason, she thinks I like her. Hey, Sarah, just because someone is dating you doesn't mean they like you, okay? Crazy ideas some people get. Before me, she used to date my friend Leon, and she murdered his fish by pouring cider in the fish tank. And afterwards... And afterwards, to rub salt in the wound, she said, fide gibatar. At least, that's what Leon claims. I mean, Sarah disagrees with his lie. but obviously what he says is the truth, because he's not a girl.
Yeah. When you start thinking about the things people said when you were young, you go like, hold on a second.
Most of this was not true. I am a good person. I tried dumping Sarah like 8 times. Wow, can that girl cry? What's the problem, you sissy cry pants?
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World. Now, of course, is the time that the show ends, and you pick up whatever device you like to browse the internet on, go to patreon.com/manbycow and have a look at all the things you could be getting immediately for as little as $2 a month.
Yes.
For example, the complete live stream reading of Howard's script Champagne for Breakfast that we did during lockdown, still available. That's about 20 hours long, and that's really, really ridiculous. There's a script called Castrato that you should only listen to if you enjoy ginger beasting and other disturbing things by Howard. And, of course, loads of other stuff that I can't even begin to remember because there's just too much of it.
Yes.
See you in 2 weeks, everybody. Bye-bye, milk.
Bye-bye, milk.
He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer. Yeah.